There's enough in there?
Correct, so. Other questions at all?
On the 2% account,
That's what we're right.
Oh,
go ahead.
We're ahead. Like, we have 9,000 in there for this month, so actually we won't have to do an assessment if we didn't want to.
so I have been working on that, so I will be honest. A mistake was made back in April, with the main checking. So I need to go through, and it's been an ongoing process to make sure that all of the checks have been cleared. So that's why I haven't been carrying the zero balance, because I wanna make sure that it indeed is okay. But it should be all cleared up for next month. I have it right here if you wanna look at it.
So are we paying it here?
For what?
We're paying, this is the checks roll,
Mm-hmm. Yep, first one with 14, yep,
and then you got we,
Yeah.
even for 11/7.
yeah, upcoming days,
Oh,
right here.
I just didn't know this bill was.
Well, this was the one you looked at last month, and we signed a
Okay,
check.
that's fine.
Well, I have that too, if you
I
wanna look at
just
it.
didn't understand why you were.
Yeah.
Cause that's pretty. Never mind. Any other questions?
Rebecca, how does the interest get paid out on that 2% account? Does it get paid out every month? Cause that 8 cents is more, it's more like 1/10 of a percent than 2%.
The 2% account, you guys can speak to that. 2% is what we get from the state.
Yeah, we get it from the state, the fire departments get it from the state, they send it to the town and the village, we have to do fire inspections, and,
The interest.
Let's talk
from
about the
bank-
interest.
The interest from the bank is whatever the interest of the bank.
Yeah, 2% doesn't refer to the interest rate of it.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's,
No,
so
it's
all of the money paid
2%
into the state
savings
for,
account for their fire
Yeah, oh,
stuff that
The
they.
2% is the money coming off the insurance check.
Oh, so it's not 2% interest?
no,
No.
They call it a 2%.
It's
No,
two
we just get
percent fire
community
dues.
0.5.
Come here to learn sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll see it hit the town books, June, July typically, we'll receive the check, and then the town turns around and pays it out to the fire
Okay,
department.
all right. Thanks.
And that's required to use for, you can address what it's used
we
for.
use it for education, new equipment,
Inspections.
and,
Fire suppression equipment,
Yeah.
and training,
very limited on training.
education, training, yeah.
Just so everybody understands what it's used for. Alright, if I get that beat up, we can go to a motion to accept the treasurer's report and assess the municipality to pay the bills.
I guess I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report and assess the municipalities.
Motion's on the floor.
I'll second it.
A motion made and seconded to accept the treasurer's report, assess the municipalities $3,720 to pay the bills. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Fire chief, okay, what is going on?
Better audit for our 2%, yesterday, and we did pass, so, but we just had a couple slight changes that we have to, make, do a couple things.
When you say audit, what do they come and see what you spent it on?
Yeah, they see what we spent it on, they make sure, we have our training records, make sure we're doing all our post testings and
Inspire, make sure fire inspections are getting done,
all
and
fire inspections.
make sure you're spending the money on what
you're supposed to be spending it on. Happens we get audited every department gets audited every 3 to 5 years.
They check our training records and all that stuff, you know, so.
Is that somebody from the state?
Yep.
So Ryan Paul ended up coming to that working, so, I don't know if you guys have any questions for him, they could probably answer them for you, if you have any questions. There's really only a couple minor things that we have to address, but we did pass, so.
Anything else?
Yeah, so, we were looking to purchasing them radios that we needed, we talked about that a couple real fires ago, and, the radio company called us, and we had to make a decision because they were going up in price, and there was a $300 rebate, so, but that expired March 31st, so we did go ahead and order them. I mean, we didn't really have much choice unless we wanted to spend, they were going up, I don't know, 5 or 10%, they didn't know exactly, and then our rebate was gonna be gone, so we did order them, so Ryan's got them on order, I don't know how long.
Maybe about a month or so.
About a month or so, so.
So what kind of a total expense?
They were,
3,600
yeah,
each.
they were 30, almost 4,000, and then you minus the 300, right?
And how many?
5,
5 times this.
that's what we needed, yeah.
That's a budgeted expense.
Yeah.
Anything else going on?
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure, cause I know I missed the last meeting, and I know it was discussed at the, village meeting there. Was anything decided on the money as far as how much money?
The
ahead of
board-
time, or-
Yeah, the board had a discussion and then we ended up with more questions. So, I think, the gist of the questions is, getting the payment, say, like the July 13th we had discussed. What happens at the end of the year, if there's money left, and what are we gonna do with it?
Well, this is,
That's fire budgeted money, it ain't what you do with it,
this is,
fire budgeted money.
this is what, you know, we would like to do with it, you know, if we have money left over, we're not gonna go waste it. I mean,
Yeah.
I ran a company, Jason runs a company, Paul and Ryan are both, what are you guys?
Project managers.
Project
Anyhow,
managers.
If it's budgeted for the fire department, the village has no say
Yeah,
what to do with it.
Anyway, what we would do is.
What do you mean, what are the what the village gonna do with it?
We would keep it
It's
in an
budgeted
account,
for the fire.
because that actually, it would, it would benefit
Can we
you.
just stop a moment?
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of getting treated rudely, okay?
Fine.
Historically, municipality
Typically,
money.
when there's an over budget, and we'll probably set it up when we have the new fire district, you know, if there's budget money says at the end of the year, okay, we can put this towards that project, or put that towards purchasing this. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, well, this is
You know.
what, if you let me explain what I would like to do with it, is keep it in account, because like, if we kept it, like, that would've saved a lot of things when our compressor went down, we would probably would've had 15,000 in there, where we could've said, okay, guys, we only need $5,000, and we can do it. I mean, we're not gonna go say, oh, we got 20,000 left over, let's buy everybody a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt or something, you know what I mean?
Well, an idea, I guess,
We-
what I'd like to see done with it is putting it in an account for future equipment use.
Yeah, that's fine.
We got a 40-year-old Pierce.
Yep, so what I'm hearing is everybody wants to go into a capital outlay account to benefit the fire department.
Right. Cause, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, we got trucks that are getting 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, and SCBA packs are gonna have to be replaced, so if not used, then we can put it in an account, and then,
But it
It's
would
there
still
to-
be the fire department's
I
money.
understand that, Dan.
Okay, because it seems to me like you wanna grasp it back.
No, that's not the case.
Well, that's what I heard.
Well,
You know, main
He
points I
said if
remember.
there's money left over, we wanna do something with it. That's what I heard, not the village.
Well,
doing something.
then why don't you ask me what
I
you
just
said?
did.
I mean, there's a lot of crap going on out there, we're doing this, we're doing that, Gleason's getting rid of the ambulance, I mean,
Well,
talk to me, don't assume we're trying to
Well,
let's,
mess things
the
up.
main points I remember coming from was if we wanted to start it this year, which I was hoping we would. The interest thing came up and what we were gonna do, if we were gonna write a check back to the village at the end of the year with leftover money, that was the thing brought up, and the
I understand.
one municipality, one board member thought one municipality was gonna get screwed over by doing it this way, was the main points I remember.
so, I just.
So if any of that needs to be addressed here, go back, I don't.
Because like the interest, I know that was brought up, and that's kind of a irritating thing for like the $200 or whatever it is. You know, the fire department will write you a check back, we don't care. Or I'll take it out of, I'll take it out of my chief's account, I don't care, but it'll just be my chief's check. It's just a lot easier this way. We don't have to, you know, every month get late fees, you know, every month worry about when it's coming.
Yeah, we understand that we wanna get rid of that
And I know Corey,
aspect of the business.
well, I don't wanna mention any names, but he was concerned about the interest, well, you know, I'm glad you're worried about the safety of the firemen.
So,
Yeah, I mean, as far as, I don't recall a specific comment about one of the municipalities getting screwed over. I mean, we split everything 50-50, so I don't, as long as the money goes towards the fire.
You know,
it
that's
shouldn't
the way
be
it
a
should.
big
The
deal.
way I was looking at it too, I mean, I'm sure you get money from the state for roads and so does the town. You guys don't go, oh, well, we got $50,000, let's only spend 20 and give 20 back. I mean, you just try to use it all as much as you can.
it's a budgeted item. Alright,
So what do they need to know to take back to them to get this figure out result?
I guess. If maybe we as this committee make a recommendation, if budgeted money is left at the end of the year, fire department will put it towards an equipment account.
that's fine.
That's what we love, that's what we would love to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should be funding, you know, forward funding
What-
building stuff.
Do we wanna try to make that July 15th our final payment then, to start it this year? Cause that was the other, was when we were starting it.
Or do we have to start at the beginning of the year? I don't know.
It's a budgeted account.
I don't think the board had any,
So then we wouldn't have these assessments, we just pay the bills. You know, as they came in.
well, I guess we could, the discussion at our village board meeting, because we're already hitting April, might as well pay monthly till July, and then, is that something right?
We can,
Cause we're well past January 15th.
Okay. If you guys wanna make a motion to, affect you on, so we have a record of it in the minutes.
I'll make a motion to.
Okay.
Has to come from them.
I'm not gonna touch it. It's up to
well,
you.
we're gonna have some openings on the village board, Jason, should you
Trying
like to, you
get
know,
also somebody can do it.
I mean, I guess I'll make a motion, to recommend to, the rural fire, to start, make a payment, starting July 15th, of budgeted money where we're at. And then any remainder at the end of the year can go into an account for equipment that needs to be replaced, does that sound fair?
Equipment and truck.
Equipment.
It would be a capital.
Outlet, right?
Yes. So a motion's on the floor. If I remember this correctly. That we will address, we will stay month to month till July 15th. At that time, we would request the rest of the budgeted money to be submitted to the Rural Fire Committee for the fire department's budget. I don't know if I need to elaborate any more on that. You made the motion, hopefully. Is that what covers it?
Yes.
In the capital.
And then budgeted money excesses will be put in the capital outlay account for further use if there's anything left. The motion's on the floor, I need a second.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded to recommend to the municipalities to pay remaining budgeted money for the fire department on July 15th for 2026. To be paid in full, and if there's excess, we will have a fire department capital outlay account where excess will be. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Alright. Anything else fire department wise?
I don't have anything
Vehicles and,
Equipment.
okay, just leave it at capital outlay.
That
Okay.
covers everything.
Okay.
Almost equipment,
Okay.
vehicles. That's your major stuff. Alright, ambulance, Mr. Leo.
Perfect, all right. Nothing, nothing too specific. We have our statistics for our quarterly, stuff, so I will throw those out there. So far, year to date, for first quarter, we've had 54 calls. Compared to last year, we were at 32, so we are up 22 calls, in the first quarter here. And I can tell you that after that snowstorm, like that Sunday into early Monday, there wasn't a single call, and then Monday, when all the snow was on the ground, between Monday and Tuesday, I think we had 9 calls between Monday and Tuesday.
Yep.
So, we spent a lot of time, there was a lot of time on the road during those snow.
How did our ambulance handle that snow?
Perfectly. It did all right. I think the counties did a great job, so I mean, you know,
It was teamwork.
We know, but still, we gotta, I do believe we have a four-wheel drive.
Yes.
ambulance. That must be
Yeah.
very.
Well, that's a question.
it helps for some of those situations. The county, fire departments, everyone did an amazing job helping, kind of through that. There was even one call where, the patient was going to Green Bay, and Outagamie kind of plowed the way to the Brown County line, and there was a Brown County plow sitting at the county line and plowed them the rest of the way to the hospital.
And we
So,
had our own personal fireman standing back there, Ryan, plowed, all the trail to the one.
To the
yep,
residents.
to the residents. So, there was a lot of good teamwork and effort that took place during that snowpocalypse event. So. Oh, we also did have people here, so our crews actually spent the night here to ensure that, you know, because a response time from somewhere to here is going to be pretty long in those, so we actually had personnel that staffed the station during that event as well, so.
Thanks to all of you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, we're up 24 calls this year, so far. Most popular days of the week, Saturday at 18.5%, Sunday at 18.5%, so everyone's calling on the weekends here. Monday and Tuesday were 16.7%. Most popular hour of the day, 3 to 4 p.m. Was about 13% of our calls, and then 10 to 11, And then 9 in the evening until 10 are the 3 most popular. Reasons for dispatch, we've had 10 calls due to falls, 9 motor vehicle accidents, 6 sick people, and 3 difficulty breathing. As far as the on-call time, I know that was in the last one, so for the month of March, there are 1,488 hours to be covered in the month. That's 31 days times 2 people, 24 hours a day. Of that, we had 1,167 hours where we had a scheduled person on. We did have 321 hours that were open on the schedule. Once again, that doesn't mean they weren't covered. It just means there was a hole on the schedule, and typically there are several people around. They'd answer, they just didn't put their name on the schedule. And for membership, we had 14 members that picked up call time through the month of March.
Anything else?
I will say that, I met with the leaders of the municipalities to start establishing a fire board and EMS board. So we are starting that process. I am waiting for some templates to, start scheduling additional meetings. I'm hoping to have those meetings once a month. On that note, your books, the P&L that you sent me, I couldn't use it at all.
Okay,
There were deposits that were missing, there were a bunch, like nothing balanced out at all. So I was unable to use that.
So for this next time around, we're gonna have to sit down and like make sure that they kind of
Yeah,
line up.
because this is going DOR,
okay,
and I don't think you wanna go through that to get audited. So we gotta figure out how to fix that P&L.
okay.
And if we could get that done in the next few weeks here.
Right. And then the last thing that we have from an ambulance perspective, so, the municipalities, the maintenance of effort forms, we were sent them from the state today. So those were signed and are gonna be distributed to the municipalities. So the maintenance of effort form is the shared revenue form. So municipalities have to show, that they're maintaining coverage in police, fire, and EMS, and that gets them that bump up in the shared revenue. So the shared revenue forms for 2026 are actually comparing 24 to 25. So there was maintenance of effort in all 4 municipalities for the 24 to 25 look. So we did sign those. Ryan, as the service director, signs them. So those will be distributed to the municipalities, because the municipalities will have a deadline in June to submit those to the state to get their shared revenue or that increase in the shared revenue funds. So those will be distributed out, like I said, as they compare 24 to 25, and there was no change in coverage from 24 to 2025.
Complete?
Yep, thank you.
Move on, we got a budget or agenda item, discuss approval for the 26 ambulance contract. So, I guess.
Well,
Go ahead.
I guess it's up to this body if we wanna discuss anything. Somebody could make a motion. I did speak with our attorney today. And the town attorney and the village attorney do have an appointment for next Thursday at 11:30. So unless somebody has something they wanna discuss, or the
Could we be
attorneys are
proactive?
scheduled to meet.
Could we be proactive and talk about maybe some amendments the village would like to see on the 26th contract if it comes to that?
Okay. 2026?
Yes.
That's what's on the,
That's what's on the
agenda.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
Because when the attorneys meet, they should be discussing whether the 2025 contract was properly terminated from this body, which would leave then the 2026 contract with amendments up for discussion. And if I can, I wrote on the board, and I can move that closer if I need to. So that is currently what is provided at rural fire. So on the monthly, Jenny has that envelope, it has a profit and loss statement, the bank statement, the reconciliation statement. She does
Those need some oil.
She does the month-to-month bills are in the folder, as well as the month-to-month checks, so from one month to the next. Quarterly, we currently, which we did today, so we provide the information for payroll, which will include the stuff from Jazeski's, the attendance rosters, the on-call schedule, so that you see where the hours are, and then we provide the statistics. So I guess from a discussion standpoint, that is what we currently provide, and a lot of the hang up between, I think, the original contract and now has been first the audit, and I think we're past the audit process, and it's that list of documentation. So I guess I would ask from the ambulance perspective, you know, what on that list isn't currently being provided that you would like to add to the list? Because that's what we provide, we're willing to provide that. It doesn't, of course, include that patient call information because of the HIPAA stuff, but that's the information that we have no issue, and if it's approving a 2026 contract to go to the municipalities with an addendum that grants you that documentation, that we will guarantee it, we don't have an issue as an ambulance membership, we don't have an issue doing that. What I will fight as an ambulance personnel is the information to include but not limited to, because that statement is an open checkbook for you to ask for whatever information that you want and add information in the future. And it would be, I kind of use this as the example, it would be like me telling Tim, I will sell you my truck for to include but not limited to $5,000, and then after he signs the title, I tell him it's $9,000. So that language is what we want to avoid as an ambulance, because that leaves ambiguity in a contract when it says to include but not limited to. So it would be nice if the village and the town both look at that list and say, if there's something that we are currently providing that we need, or is there something not on there that we can provide, and put it on that list, and then that's the list that gets added to the addendum for all of this discussion, so that we can move forward, because I mean, in the end, April 30th is gonna come pretty quick.
Any other discussion on your part, Andy?
Well, I agree with what Nathan just stated, and, you know, I acknowledge that the rescue squad has been providing information all along. The gist of what the board was looking for is, you know, something in the contract language that said information was available.
And we are willing to put that in the,
Yeah.
we are willing to recommend
So
that for contract.
what I'm gonna suggest is we as a committee make a recommendation, we can share it with the attorneys, what that financial language we want. So I'm looking at the amendment that the village came up with.
Which
Says income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, check register for all accounts, bank statements for all accounts and receipts to be provided no later than the following Rural Fire Committee. And I agree with Nathan's statement that we should not include that language, include but not limited to. Now, the verbiage here, I'm not sure how it exactly corresponds to that, but, from what I see, it's pretty much the same thing. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
We're on the same page, we
Right.
just gotta get our verbiage correct.
Yes.
And if you wanna wait till the lawyers make a recommendation, or you want the board to make a recommendation that the lawyers have the willingness to apply that to the contract.
But,
Then it would have legal language that's acceptable for both.
correct, I think we could make a recommendation to the attorneys to change that language out, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would think we should leave here, right, with rural fire for a recommendation that approves resending the 2026 contract to the village with that as an addendum for the attorneys to look at when they meet. And at that point, it shouldn't have to then come back to rural fire, right? Rural fire is approving that 2026 contract language with that addendum.
Right.
That should be able to go then right from those attorneys to the municipalities for the village to sign and this to be done.
Alright,
Cause again, it all has to be settled by April 30th.
So I'm open for a motion unless there's more discussion.
I do have a question. Don't murder me. But would you guys be opposed, only because I thought about our conversation about with the invoices and things like that after the last real fire meeting? Would you guys be opposed? Cause do you guys have your stuff like digitalized or is it just paper stuff?
What do you mean, what papers?
The
Like
village,
invoices, statements, because like, here, I guess here's where I'm going, because all of the stuff for rural fire that I do is it's still paper. In my mind, I feel like they should be scanned in and housed somewhere, right, for longevity. And I'm like, well, I didn't know if I can send, I mean, would you guys be opposed to sending your invoices over to the village? And it
For
can be
what
part of our
reason?
board packet.
so I would,
Does
so
that make sense what I'm,
I get the digitalized. I would hesitate on us sending documentation to the village or the town because that's the function of rural fire. We should be providing the information to rural fire, and then rural fire, you as the secretary, should be providing that information to the town and the village, not us. Right, that information, we go to rural fire, not to the municipalities. So as soon as you have that information, if the village and the town want to see the actual bills, that's your responsibility as the secretary of rural fire to pass
okay,
that
so you would
along.
be open to giving me invoices and whatever and then moving them over, but like copies of them over to,
So-
because like at the library board, for example, it's like we sit there, we approve like the library stuff and the bills and whatever, but Katie still feeds that stuff over to the village, same thing with Steve, same thing with Scott, you know what I mean, like, all of that still, and so I didn't know if,
So I think,
guess.
I think the big difference between that type of office is like, the library has owls. They also have access to the network at the village. I don't know if we are big enough and can justify, or probably none of us budgeted for a networking system to store those files onto.
no, I'm saying if we, you know, start
Scan them
sending,
into, like, if we
giving
scan
them over
them
to
in.
Barb, they get scanned in and then they're a part of the board packet.
Right, but like Barb's bills aren't part of the board packet. Like, when I go through her board packets, the bills aren't part of that.
The
Neither are the
invoices?
checks, the invoices aren't.
And because we govern here, those documents have to come here and be approved through the minutes process before they get distributed to another governing body.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
And the library bills go to the village because the village is
the
writing the
village
checks.
holds
Yeah.
some money.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I would say
different.
from a rural fire perspective, if rural fire, you know, if rural fire wants the secretary of rural fire to scan in all of the invoices and everything that we as an ambulance provide, there's no issue with that, cause you have access to them as rural fire. We're turning them over to you for review, and so if rural fire wants to scan them in and the municipalities request it, I mean, that becomes that's a rural fire
Okay.
board function, not an ambulance function, right? So, we are more than happy to provide all of that stuff, and once it's turned over to rural fire, if your process wants to be to scan them in and so that you can give them to the municipalities, I mean, that's a board function for rural fire, not an ambulance function. We're not opposed to you guys doing that, cause it's your paperwork and your stuff.
Okay,
I
that's
just
where I
don't
just
wanna,
want the clarification, cause I was trying to like, you know, if we can start, you know.
Even
from,
though it says rural fire committee, you are
Even-
very much a functioning
you know,
board, not legal, but functioning board.
Back to our motion that's on the floor.
Well, I'll make a recommendation to have the attorneys draft an amended 2026 ambulance agreement, including language for sharing information, profit and loss statement, bank statement, reconciliation statement, bills month to month, and checks month to month.
And then the quarterly stuff's on the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry, and we'll add the quarterly with payroll, attendance roster, on-call schedule and statistics. And those will be provided to the rural fire committee at monthly and quarterly. And
I think that's good.
I think that, I'll just shut up.
Don't be giving me more hands, any more hands in here. You heard the motion, it's recommendation of this rural fire committee to allow our attorneys to hash out the 2026 ambulance contract to include monthly at rural fire profit and loss statement, bank statement, reconciliation statement, bills, month to month, checks month to month, quarterly payroll, attendance roster, on-call schedule and statistics. Now, do I have a second to that motion? Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Small victories, small victories. What the hell's left? I don't know. Next, seeing it's April Fool's Day, we did have a meeting, so that's no fool. Next meeting, I don't even know what the date is, I have to look it up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't update that.
It will be May 6th.
Rocky, you do have public comments on the agenda. I don't know
Okay,
if you were going to allow for that or not.
I can do that, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself. Do you have any public comments?
I have a question. Since the township and the village are partners in this, and each municipality has 3 representatives, correct? Do all 6 of them, do they get to vote? Are they voting members?
Not according to our bylaws.
So who can vote? How many can vote?
3 from the village, 2 from the town. Technically, for the bylaw,
The
Rock
chairman
Well,
does
the
not vote.
chair,
doesn't
it
get,
just depends who's the chair.
he's a tiebreaker, so if there was a tie, which I don't know how you would get a tie at 5, but
But that will be addressed in our new, that's part of reorganization in the innovation grant. We will have a better, a legal board and a legal entity, and this is all gonna take a little time and a lot of whatever discussion.
Cause that should be fair in my opinion.
No, it needs to be better organized. This was done possibly 50 years ago. I don't know when it was started.
Okay, that's fine.
And it was done with a handshake and a pinky swear.
and I think it was based off of the percentage of the population, that's how the voting, back from what I read out of the book.
So, no, that would be, anything else from, anybody else comment?
I just have a question.
Go ahead.
But I think this list is really good, and whatever you decide to do as far as whether that paperwork comes to the rural fire committee or goes on to the village or town, I'm just wondering, is all the same shared for fire with this group and with the 2 communities?
The fire is a separate entity.
I know it's separate, I'm just asking, like, we're asking this of
I don't know.
EMS.
That's part of a reorganization too, so.
Yeah.
I wanna get through the EMS, and we also are looking at redoing fire, because we're not a legal entity according to the state of Wisconsin.
I understand. I was just wondering how much oversight is on that side if we're doing it on this side.
Well, I think we need to address that at that time too, but we gotta take one step at a time.
I guess the main thing is, this contract comes up every year for the rescue slide. So where fire is basically a budget and away we go.
Yeah, I
Right,
understand,
but
but,
you guys are approving financials, and I don't know if you've seen the books.
yeah, like that's
Because
my question.
realistically, according to the financials, we should have $80,000 in the checking account as of 12/31 of 25.
Well, we need to get
You
that
lost
figured
me,
out.
I don't know what.
Well, whatever, just, but get it on the books right.
Mhm, no, I agree.
You need to address whatever needs to be fixed.
Mhm.
So, anything else? If no other discussion, motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll move to adjourn.
Have a second? Have a second? A second. Motion made, second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I got it now.